that march past, charities that seek to help ex-servicemen and their families in all kinds of ways. And the war in Afghanistan, with its hideous mutilation of troops by roadside bombs and the like, so-called improvised explosive devices, has focused on the work done by one of these charities in particular, BLESMA, the British Limbless Ex-Servicemen's Association, whose job is to find ways of rehabilitating those who've suffered the terrible loss of limbs. Leicestershire farmer's son, Steve Gill, joined the army and was posted to Northern Ireland in the late 80s, where soldiers were under attack from the IRA.
It was the 10th of May 1989, and it just happened to be on this fateful day, on the way back, walking through a normal housing estate that you wouldn't think nothing of. They'd planted a barrel with nuts and bolts and stuff and Semtex. As we patrolled past on foot, they pushed the button, and that's how I ended up with losing my right leg above the knee, my left leg below my knee, my right eye. Nearly lost my right arm, but luckily they saved that.
Paralympic track cyclist Jon-Allan Butterworth was serving with the RAF in Iraq in 2007 as a weapons engineer when he came under rocket fire.
A few were landed quite close to me, and then the final one was landed, you know, I'll say pretty close because it got me, so, you know, close enough to do damage and stuff. It resulted in, obviously, losing my arm. Yeah, within 2 weeks of me being injured, yeah, I had contact from BLESMA. They take you under their wing.
BLESMA was a godsend, really put me in the right direction and showed me really what was available to get hold of. The motability for a car, first of all. BLESMA are
very persuasive into kind of getting you into active rehab, and they find that being active helps.
One of my greatest fears was sailing because I don't like swimming or water, and in 2008 I did the Atlantic Challenge, so across the Atlantic from Cape Verde Islands to Barbados. It's hard work on a boat when you've got limbs missing. I had some scary times aboard that boat, but actually turned around and really enjoyed it.
I got one-off grants from BLESMA to help my cycling costs, you know, when I started my cycling, which was very helpful in the early days. Then going to the games, I didn't get the goal, but I got 3 silvers.
And on the line, he's just outside.
But there's still loads more to come, which is encouraging for Rio. I mean, the way I look at it is like, if I hadn't got injured, then I wouldn't be in my cycling. And I know quite a lot of my cycling.
I didn't want to think of myself as a disabled person, and I probably didn't for years and years. I think my mum changed that in my mind because she met somebody who'd been a Paralympian, and he was playing wheelchair basketball, and said, "Why don't you get your son to come along?" And I went along, and I was like, "Well, I don't know if I want to be here with all these disabled people." And I got in this wheelchair, and they let me have a go, and that was it. Changed my mindset completely. 14 years on, I still play wheelchair basketball and coach, and I go into schools and teach as well. So, you know, it sort of opened up a new angle on my life. I don't often get a tear in my eye, but being down at the cenotaph really does push me to that point. It's an humbling experience, to be honest.
It certainly is, especially when you meet people like Lance Corporal Matt Croucher.